Thank you for listening to the Data is My Science podcast, the show that makes data your passion. With your host, Dapper Data.
What's up, everyone? You're listening to the Data is My Science podcast, the show that makes data your passion. With your host, Dapper Data. Today I have a special guest that I'm going to introduce shortly. But first, I just want to apologize to all my listeners out there. I know I've been inconsistent. I do apologize truly. I've been doing all kinds of things like trying to create a different podcast out there, trying to do some rebranding, a couple other things going on. And what I started doing was thinking about really bringing in people to interview on this podcast, because in the past I did a lot of educational things out there, did education on data mining, did education on programming languages, everything dealing with data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and that was all great, but that didn't really hit the audience that I wanted to hit. And so what I wanted to do was connect to you all a lot better. And I thought the best way to do that was to start bringing on people in their everyday life where they're interacting with data all the time. And so I think that's a perfect segue in introducing someone that's very close to me, my brother, my blood brother, Marcus Rountree. Say what's up, Marcus.
Hey, how y'all doing today, man? How's everyone? Good to be on here. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Again, man, this my blood brother, so same mother, same father. We're really close, and so he has an interesting story. He'll talk to you about and how he got to where he is now. And so Marcus, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us what you do. A little bit about your life.
First of all, I work at Dark Cars, Lanham, Kia, and Ford in Lanham, Maryland. I've been in the business since I was 20 years old. I'm 28 now. It's a very, very long road. And when I first got in the car business, I wanted to, I reached out to my friend's dad, Nathan, Nathan Gray. And his father works at a Lincoln dealership. So I went there and I tried out for an interview. And basically, the guy, he looked at me one time, the manager there, and he said, bring him in here. He said, look, man, we don't have any positions for, sales, but we have janitor positions open. You can take. And I said, wow. I mean, I was ready to stop right there. I just had Jordan, my daughter, and everything, and I was like, man, I need a job. I need to take anything.
Right.
Mr. Gray pulled me to the side, thankfully, and said, look, man, don't take that. Don't even worry about him. Go down the street. It's a bigger dealership and more so not a luxury brand, Ford and Kia. I'm pretty sure they're hiring there. So I went down there, had a button up and, dress slacks and everything. And I said, I'm looking to apply for sales position. And the manager at the time, Andrew Schultz, God rest his soul, he passed away in a car accident. And he asked me, hey, have you ever done sales? I said, no. He said, what do you know about cars? I said, Andrew, honestly, all I know about cars is how to put gas in them. But I promise you, if you give me the opportunity, I have a daughter, I want to work very, very hard, and, accomplish from there. So I've been there since I was 20. I started there as a sales rep. They promoted me to finance manager at the age of 23. 26, I was a store manager for a whole Kia and everything. And I'm in the sales repertoire now and everything. And I mean, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. It, of course, pays the bills and, keeps me active. And I love working with people, man. I meet different people every single day.
Right.
So I can't get away from it. I'll probably be in it forever. So.
And that's awesome, man, because like uh, like being into the sales world and doing what you do, you've been able to use a lot of you've been able to start to study a lot of customers, right? Being able to say in order to be a good salesperson, you have to like know the people, and so that you're dealing with, and so who you're selling to. You have to know the market. You got to understand those things, and a lot of people are really who are the really good ones, right? Those are the people that probably can just go in and just sell, right? But
Yeah.
everybody, even though those folks are really really good, they still have to use some of the data that is around them, right? Like some of the different data from the customers, the behavior, and
Yeah.
stuff, being able to
Absolutely.
understand some of those things, So tell me, like, how do you usually use data to determine like customer behavior? Like how do you use that in your market? How do you watch to see if customers tend to buy certain things at times of the year and all that stuff?
Okay. Well, for one, it's a good thing you said. I study. You definitely study customers and you study habits, behavior. We don't prejudge, and that's a good thing you pointed out. Never prejudge. You never know who can buy a car. You never know what's in someone's pocket. So we study customers. We study the market. We study the time of year. Due to like winter time. Hey, do we need all-wheel drive vehicles? Do we need, is that really important? Did we have a really bad winter? Are we going to have bad weather? We had a decent winter this winter. I mean, we didn't have pretty much any type of snow or feet or anything like that. So it was pretty easy to say, hey, we don't need to order too many all-wheel drive vehicles
Right.
because you're not going to have to dig yourself out of the snow or get out of the snow.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of vehicles have electronic traction control, which is standard on vehicles. So we'll go ahead and, have a great order and a great amount of, let's say, for example, if the vehicle is not a certain amount, the
Mm-hmm.
customer will look at it. That all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive is about a $2,000 difference.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for example, you're looking at a vehicle, a SUV, and it's 30,000. If it's front wheel drive, most likely it's 27, 28,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks better to the customer. I don't
Right.
really need an all-wheel drive. I already have an SUV. SUV already sits up high, so I don't really need that.
Yeah.
We have vehicles that are sport vehicles, tires.
So how do you
If you
know?
order,
How do you know when it's time to is it the fact that it's wintertime coming? Do you all look at some type of data set? Do y'all look online to say, well, hey, based off of statistics, it shows this, or have you used data over years or something like that? Like how do you make that judgment call and feel like you're comfortable with making that call? Because a lot of times we make a lot of decisions, but we don't know if it's the right decision only based off of like data we've seen. Like, okay, around wintertime, that's just something that's common, or is that something y'all actually see based off of like the sales that y'all have had during the winter?
it's something that we see that's common. Customers feel more safe with an
Mm-hmm.
all-wheel vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Automatically say, yeah, it must be all-wheel drive. A lot of times what I use and I tend to use is, was their last car all-wheel drive?
So you mean, okay, so that's good. So you're basing it off of historical data from the actual person itself, right?
Yeah,
When they come in,
absolutely.
you ask one of the questions you might ask is, well, what car you had before, right?
Yeah,
Is that one?
exactly.
Okay.
Some people you don't even need to bring up all-wheel drive because if you bring it up, they feel like they automatically have to have it. Like, oh, all-wheel drive, oh, yeah, I need to have that.
That's true,
But
because I think I
they
need
didn't
that.
have it on their last vehicle. Like, for example, I mean, your last, I remember when you had a Mustang. It was
Uh-huh.
rear wheel drive.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you made it through a lot. But now you have 4-wheel drive now.
Yeah. Four-wheel drive, yeah.
Just have 4-wheel drive, but you made it. You'll probably be fine with front wheel drive, but you have it just because you felt like you need it. I gotta SUV, I gotta have 4-wheel drive, and it's safe in a lot of situations. However, it's like it's a mind thing. So what did you have on your last vehicle? Hey, let me go ahead and get the same thing I had in my last week. Bam. I don't even want to bring up all-wheel drive because what if I don't have any all-wheel drive vehicles? Now I gotta go get it, man. Now it delays the sale. I gotta go wait. I gotta wait a day. I gotta look for the vehicle at another dealership and stuff like that. If they have front-wheel drive, I won't. I won't even bring up all-wheel drive because it just messes up with the customer's mindset of what they really need, what they need, for what they want.
Right. Okay, so some of the stuff you can't really use data that you find online. Some of the stuff you can't really use like data that you find out there and like online or based off of some results. I got some spreadsheets or something like that. Some stuff you actually have to get a feel for the customer instead. Then is that what you're saying? Because it
Absolutely.
seems like with the mindset, if you could think average, right? If you think on average, uh, certain customers may want this luxurious car or something like that, based off of maybe just talking to them and stuff. But then in general, like when you're trying to sell like a luxury car or something like that, do you all look at how many luxury cars are selling on your lot, or do you all look at how many four-wheel drive cars are selling, and then how do you make that judgment call on what to sell just during that day, right? Not just off of a season, but during the day, okay, these are the best cars it's going to sell.
So what we do is being that Kia and Ford, those aren't really luxury vehicles, so that can be a tough topic with a customer, like trying to overcome the sign Kia.
Mm-hmm.
So let's for example, I have a customer that they're like, oh, this has all the features and stuff like that and everything like that, and our price is a lot less because it's Kia, it's Ford. So now they're looking at, well, they look at payment wise. After they look at payment wise, they're like, well, if it's going to be that much, I might as well get a BMW.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I have to overcome a lot. Like, but it's a Kia. So now we try to focus and win on like the cost side versus that. So what we'll do is we'll look up other makes and models. Say, hey, when we look up other makes and models, like we got to look over and step on the Toyota. The customers want to leave and they say, yeah, I just started my search, but I want to go to Toyota, and I was planning on taking a look at the Toyota, and I still want to go and take a look at the Mazda or something like that. And now we're like, well, man, we were the first stop. Now, most likely, if the last stop a customer goes to, they're buying it most of the time.
So that's like what
they've already,
Okay.
Yeah, because they've already seen everything. Now that they're the last stop, they're like, honey, now let's compare. Let's compare price. We got price from here, here, here. But they're there, and you're more likely to get a sale when the customer is there. Okay. But if their excuse is, I got to look at other vehicles, I'm spending a lot of money, it's like, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to do that.
That's good to know. Yeah, that's good to know, man. So what about like marketing, right? Like, I know you've been in the finance industry. You've been doing marketing because you're in the sales side too. So you're out there trying to market, right? Like calling people when you got to make calls, right? Like you don't want to just call just random Joe Smo or something like that, right? You got to look at the data, right? You got to see like who is the right person to call, right? Does age matter, or does whether they're a couple or not matter? Those type of things. Do they have a house? What's their date? Like what? Tell me about that. What kind of stuff is their data?
That's a great question, man. First thing I do when I call a lot of customers is I introduce myself, and I ask them, a lot of times if they put in an inquiry, they're looking for an SUV. Okay. Say, okay, do you have a large family? Because if they have a large family, let's say they have about 4 kids, maybe 5 kids, maybe 3 kids, they might not need a third row. vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So they're asking for pricing on this SUV, but they only have one kid, and that kid is 25, and they don't plan on having any more kids.
Right.
But hey, oh yeah, I don't have a lot of kids, but my son, he has about 3 kids. Okay, so they got grandkids.
Right.
So now I have to put that third row into perspective. Now, if their son doesn't have any kids, this and that, I'm talking to them about that. I'm talking about my daughter, this and that, casual conversation. Okay, sir, do you really need a third row? Just asking. If you do, it's fine.
Right.
But, oh yeah, I do need the third row because you know what? I do a lot of golfing and I like to fold that third row down and put stuff. Okay, bam. I have to know their daily activities, what they do for a living. They might have kids that are involved in sports. Okay, bam, their kid, they might only have 2 kids, but they might be a teen mom. They might be a soccer mom. So in this van, I need that Sedona, that van, because of the fact that they're going to be carrying all their friends with them on a daily. That's what they do on the weekends. So, okay, I can't do that. But if I can save someone some money and, hey, look, I know you're looking for a vehicle around $20,000. Why don't you take a look at this smaller SUV? It only has 2 rows, but you can get it in a V6. You can get it in a turbo. And you can still have all these features, but it's actually going to be less if you get this one. Why don't you take a look at this? So judging by their lifestyle and everything, bam, they'll be in a vehicle that's less and more affordable.
So it seems like you're able to, you already have an idea of what they may want based off of the data that you've seen through the inquiry that comes in, right? So it's a form that probably lists about what, like your name, your how many kids you got, your age and things like that, right?
And it's funny you said, sorry to interrupt you. I remember you said calling Joe Smo down the street. You're right. You don't want to just call anyone because we have a data amount. We have a list of people that are in the market or not in the market, or people that are actually coming to an end on their warranty. So let's say, for example, we have a system called Auto Alert, right? Auto Alert is a great system to use because it lets you know when a customer has an appointment to come in for service.
Right.
It also lets you know what they're coming in service for, or oil change. They're having trouble with their engine. They're having, they're hearing a sound, and this problem is not going to be covered under their warranty. So paying for this is going to cost $5,000 to get this fixed. Why not put that $5,000 toward a new vehicle and you're going to have a brand new warranty? So
y'all get that alert?
We have an alert. Yes, we have an alert.
Y'all get it, even though they're going into the service part. Yep. You already know.
On the sales side, we know what they're coming down for. We know the time. We know the time they're coming in. We know what the problem is. We know what kind of vehicle they have. We know whether it's all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. We know how many payments they have left. We know if they owe money and how much money they owe on the vehicle.
Right. So looking at all that, if you get that alert, that helps you make a decision and whether you want to invest enough time in this person or not. So what do? You just this is off top. What do you do? Just meet them there and be like, hey, how you doing? And be like, who are you? I didn't know.
How you doing? No, we don't do it. It's, you know what? What we'll do is we'll go downstairs. We'll know when they're set up. We get an alert when they check in and they're sitting down in the waiting room. And we'll go down and just greet ourselves. Hey, how you doing today? This and that. How's everything? And a lot of times the sales rep that sold them their last car is there.
Yeah.
So it's a proper greeting, like, hey, how you been? It looks like, you're just coming down there and you run it. It's a bathroom down there. You can just act like you're walking to the bathroom or something. Right. Like, oh, man, how you been? Oh, yeah, man. You know what? I'm having an issue with my car, man. Oh, you do? Wow. Yeah. Okay. What's the issue? Bam. Man, they have a vehicle. You're looking for a Sorrento again, possibly?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're not. Well, oh, man. Yeah, they're saying it's going to cost me about $5,000. Well, guess what? The Sorrento has a $5,000 rebate. You might want to get out of that.
Right.
And right now, because of all this stuff going on, COVID-19 and everything like that, they're doing no payments for, 4 months. So now you're looking at people who are out of the market because, man, like, no, I'm not working right now. I don't know when we're going to be back to work. Guess what? You have 4 months of no payments.
Mm-hmm.
So we're reaching out to those people. Some people have one payment left on their lease and they're downstairs in the service getting their last oil change.
Right.
Don't even pay for that oil change. Don't even make that last payment. We'll make it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get you into another vehicle while you're
Yeah.
here, and you don't even have to save some money.
Well, that's good because you're able to you're able to get that data. Again, I mean, this is very important because in your field, a lot of people probably don't think that data is used, right? And what I'm seeing is that data is used probably all the time, whether you're making that initially. When you get there in the morning, you got to make your calls, right? You got to know who you're going to call. You might collect some data about them before then. You might say, well, I know why I'm calling this person too. You might know that you got to put in a little bit more work on this one individual than the other one,
Exactly.
things like that. And so that's pretty
keep
cool.
In mind, we never call a customer for no reason. Sorry about that.
No.
But yeah, we never call a customer for no reason. Anytime we call a customer, it's because either you put in an inquiry. Okay. You put in an inquiry. We didn't just say, man, let me just call them. Or it's because they are coming up on their last payment. And guess what? If you're leasing a vehicle and you don't have any more payments, and next month you're coming out of your lease, you have to do something.
Yeah.
You have to do something on the lease.
You got to make a decision.
You have to make either you're going to buy out your lease or you're going to end up letting your lease go and turn it in and say, hey, thank you, I'm going to another make and model, but you got to turn it in here so I get to see you anyways, and I have an opportunity then. Or you can go ahead and lease another vehicle. You have 3 options when you come into a lease. So, of course, I'm going to call you because you have all this stuff, and I can make the process a lot easier for you because I have all your information as far as your vehicle, your last vehicle. How was that? Oh, you like that? You like that feature?
Right.
Oh, on your last lease, you didn't have rear view camera. Now all the cars come standard with rear view camera. Right. Let's take a look at this. Yeah.
So that's crazy because that helps you have better sales tactics for sure. And it helps you be able to close the deal. It's like you already have all the data there for you to be able to help the customer and to help you make that sale, and that's important, man. So I know that we talked a lot about data, how you're using it, whether it's making calls, dealing with different customer behaviors, right, and things like that. Are there any things within data or data analytics that you think that can improve in the car sales industry to help you make more money, to help the company make more money? Things like maybe predicting something or things like that, helping them predict something ahead of time for you so you can help make better decisions or whatever. Or even, I know we talked about before this call, we talked a little bit about services, right? The service department being able to expedite those things and being able to give alerts maybe to the customer from beginning to end on where the car is throughout the service process. And that being something, I mean, any ideas that you have on that?
I have a lot of ideas, man. However, a lot of things do cost. One thing I always say is something to get involved in the community. I feel like little things like advertising or putting money toward little things like Boys and Girls Club, your former Boys and Girls Club, Lanham Boys and Girls Club, certain things like that. Having putting money into them and advertising with them is somewhere close by. It's like, hey, they're right down the street, Lanham Boys and Girls Club, home of Dark Cars, Lanham Kia, different things like that. If you advertise around the neighborhood, I mean, everybody has to have a kid, that has a kid there, has to bring their kids there. They're driving something.
Right.
All of them are driving something.
So maybe using data analytics or tools to be able to reach out to those programs and see, maybe being able to take some sensors or something like that and putting it on those areas where the Boys and Girls Clubs are, being able to collect that data over time to be able to say, well, hey, I know that you got this specific car and it's this year, make, model, and maybe then you're able to give them a call or something like that. Maybe there needs to be some type of global system of sort of like a catalog, like a car catalog out there, so people can. It might bring more competition, but maybe there needs to be something like that, out there, man.
Yeah. I analyze a lot of different things that we can attend to and everything, but like I say, everything costs, and we do a lot of advertisement, like radio advertisement in the morning. We do a lot of advertisement on there, like on the way to work. A lot of people hear it, stop by Dark Cars Ford, stop by them Kia and stuff like that when they're listening to the traffic alert in the morning and everything. We do come on that 93.9 radio station. So when people are on the way to work, and you never know, people have a tough time getting to work. Like, man, I'm tired of taking an Uber to work, but they're hearing this on the radio.
So there should probably be some type of data stuff to be able to help you all market to the right people or right avenues, for sure, man.
Yeah.
What's your I know you talk a lot about the marketing now, so that's good. And that's a perfect segue to talk. I know we talked about website clicking, right? And we're talking about like our companies out there using, or talk to me about how you all use the different websites clicking. Like if I'm a customer and I go in to a website, I'm looking for a car, and I click on this specific car, right? What does that tell you all? Does that tell you information?
Good point. We keep track of how many people specifically click on a specific car. Like if someone clicks on this car, like another person clicks on and this person clicks on, we have 500 clicks on this one car versus on other cars we have 27 clicks or four. Like, for example, we have this hot car now, the Kia Telluride. And it's a very limited amount of them. We'll have one at a time in stock, literally one, versus our other vehicles will have 26 of them in stock. So people are for specific colors, specific this, specific that. So if we know that a lot of people are clicking on this vehicle, hey, bam, maybe we need to put a little bit better price on this one to bring the customer in on it, to get a phone call on it. We'll get a lot of phone calls. The more phone calls we're getting on that, we'll go ahead and make adjustments and everything on that specific one. We'll look at how many vehicles that the other dealerships, our competition, is selling. And once we look at their prices, if we notice someone's like $500 below ours or $1,000 below ours, we'll go ahead and nudge ours like right there where theirs is. Because let's say, for example, we have different websites that advertise our cars too. Even though we have our own website, you got Car Gurus or cars.com, different things like that, truecar.com. If you go on those websites, those are the websites you're like, man, I need to go on Car Gurus to find out the lowest price. I'm going to click from lowest. I'm going to categorize it from lowest to highest. All right. So the lowest ones they're going to see. We want to be at that lowest mark so we can get a call from the customer at least. Because that's what, if you're at the highest price, that's why they categorize it from lowest to highest. We don't want to be at the bottom of the list. We want to be at the top, lowest. So we adjust our prices to our competition.
Right, man. That's another thing. I mean, if y'all listening out there, audience, that data helps you be more competitive. That's basically what I got from that. And a lot of people don't understand how that really helps them out, but that's one way that you can do it, And so are there certain tactics that you may use on existing customers versus new customers? I mean, is that and not just talk about the tactics, but really like from a data perspective, like if you have existing customers out there, then I think you mentioned certain things that you may have to do because you've learned, you already know the history of them, right? And so the history of existing customers, like for instance, that from an age standpoint, and we talk about age, let's get specific and talk about age. So from an age standpoint, you know that, man, most people in this age range may want this type of car.
Mhm.
So does that help you with the next customer that you see in that same age range?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And the age range is a huge thing. We get a statistic of, let's say, for example, anyone that's 18 through 22,
Mm-hmm.
we noticed that their payments, they wanted to be anywhere from $200 to $400 a month, right
Oh,
there.
okay.
So when we are speaking to those people, we know what price range we're going to show the cars to. We're not going to show someone a car that's $50,000 that's 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to show them a vehicle that's, let's say, from $11,000. But like I said, we never prejudge. We never know what's in anyone's pockets. But if you're telling me that you want to be at a $300 payment, okay,
Right.
but you want to look at a $50,000 car, I'm going to try to find out how are we going to get there. Maybe their mom or dad has a down payment, that a impeccable down payment that I don't know about. So I'm
Right.
not going to prejudge and say, no, we can't look at that. I'm going to ask them more questions and everything, figure out how we're going to get there. Do you need a car that's $50,000? All the features and everything that's in it, are you looking for all that? They might say, no, all I really need is rib cam. I'm not looking for leather. I'm not looking for, okay,
Right.
so, why are we looking at this specific one? So a lot of vehicles, a lot of time, I mean, it's just math, straight up math. I mean, if you want to be $200 a month to $400 a month, you can't look at a car that's over like 20,000 really,
Right.
25,000 maybe,
Yeah. That is
so.
interesting though, like how you get somebody in that certain age range that you probably you know that they want fast cars probably, or they want a little bit more of the highlight lifestyle cars, high lifestyle cars, but you're like, okay, well, I got to keep it in this price range. And then with older people, based off of the data that you see, what's the price range that you think that they may want on a monthly basis?
Well, that's a good question too. Okay, because when you get up to the people of the ages of, let's say, like 60,000, maybe
Hmm.
like $70,000, a lot of people don't want cars that are in that range if they are, let's say, for example, retired. If you're on a fixed income, a
Yeah, yeah.
lot of customers are like, I'm on a fixed income. I don't want a payment that's above $400. So believe it or not, those people that are in those that age range, like 60 and up, they are in the same category as the people that are 18 to 25 years old.
Oh, so you really looking for the people in the middle. Those
The
are the people
people
that's
in
going
the
to give
middle,
you, they want to give you
those are the people that are hands down handling
yeah,
$500 to, I've seen $1,000 a month payment. They're
man.
like, "No,
That's
it's
because they want to get
you know.
risky. They want to go live on the
They want
edge.
to get
They're
risky right there before
like,
they hit. They're having a midlife crisis. That's what that
right,
midlife
right, right.
crisis is. 30, 40, like, I'll take that payment before I get, but I'm going to lease it because I want to get out of it in a couple years.
Right, right, right. So they're gonna do the least. Okay.
I'll take that. I can handle that payment. But man, when they get, 60 and up, I mean, you never know. They might have a great, retirement plan and stuff like that. Someone every once in a while, a lot of people, fixed income, they're like, nah, I don't want my payments to be this. And they might have a way to get there. They might have a huge down payment. Those are the people, let's say, for example, the younger people from 18 to 25, they want to be there at that payment, but they don't have the down payment to get them
Right.
there.
Okay. Okay.
So you
So
can
that's
get
their
someone that's
problem.
like 60. Yeah, you can get someone 55 and up, 60 and up to get in a car that's like 50,000, but they're going to put down like $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put down $30,000, but I want this. They already have this. This is my retirement car. I don't want to go over this. So let me know how much money I need to do to put down. But their payment is not going to be like no $500, $600. You just don't see it.
Right.
They put themselves in a better position to, but yeah, that's the ticket as far as age wise.
Right, man. That's good information, man. It's just like looking at the data is so important. I can't stress it enough. And I know something else you talked about, and I probably want to highlight this more right now because we're going to close up soon. But like the nudge theory, right? So the nudge theory is something that people use, right? This is big in data science a lot, but basically what it is that it's tactics that people use to manipulate the mind a little bit, right? Basically, just put it as simple as that. And I'll give an example, right? In restaurants, and I only know this because I own a restaurant in Ghana, but with the restaurant, you want to put maybe your best alcohol types, right? Or the ones that you want to sell the most at a certain level, like I view within the bar. So as a person go up to get some drinks at the bar, then they're gonna see that alcohol more often. Or you might want to put the hookah at a certain point where most customers, a lot of traffic gets through, and you want the hookah to be in a certain part of their vision, so that they say, "Dad, you know what? I might want the hookah," or you want them to pass certain things so that they know that they want to purchase certain things. So like just nudging them a little bit. That's basically what a nudge theory is. And I know you have some ideas as to what you all do, or you have some insight to what you all do to kind of do some of the nudging, right? That's important. And one of the things you talk about, getting traffic, right? Like a lot of people like to see traffic inside, right? So talk a little bit about that and the balloons and certain things y'all do, from a nudge standpoint to kind of get the customer to say, hey, you know what? I want that. I want to come in there. I want to get there. I want to go in that car dealer.
Yeah. So we love balloons. Balloons makes it look like, man, it's something, it's a lot of discounts going on. It's something going on in there. I want to see what's going on. It's just a mindset. If you see balloons, or you see flags, or you see confetti, it's automatically like, what's going on? Just like you see the what is it, a guy outside, the wobbly guy?
Yeah.
You want to get some of that attention right there, so you gotta have stuff like that. We have a banner we run, like Capital One sales. We'll put it's a Capital One flag, Capital One pre-approval. You put that right there in the front, the front of our dealership. You'll put the flag in the front of our dealership, and a lot of people drive by, they're like, Capital One, I have Capital One. How many people have Capital One?
Right.
So I look, and you're like,
Capital One people over here.
In there and see. I ain't think I could get approved, but they got Capital One, I got Capital One.
Right.
Little stuff like that.
Yeah.
They don't even like Kia. They might not even like it. They might not even like Ford, but they see Capital One is bam. And then guess what? We got a used car inventory. So like, oh, it's not. They don't even have only that. They got Mercedes and stuff out here. But I saw Capital One, that made me turn in here because I have Capital One. Different things, like we'll have like a 2019 vehicle. We don't like to keep vehicles in our lot for a long time, because it starts to get expensive for us to get rid of it. We'll put hang tags inside of the car, like up to $7,000 off, up to $10,000 off. Right there in the hang tag, you got that car right there in the front. Sometimes we'll even park cars in the front in parking spaces to make it seem like we have activity going on. It don't got to be a daggone person in the dealership. But if you drive by, you're like, man, something going on. But if you drive by, it looks like we're closed. If you don't have anything out front, so it grabs their attention. We have a huge Ford and Kia sign that goes up top, and you got to come down that hill sometimes on 450. So people see that coming down. We want that sign sitting up high, and we want some of our best toys sitting out front, because it's like, you don't want something regular sitting out front, and they're like, oh, they're driving, they're like, oh, I got that, I'm gonna keep going. And I'm like, what is that? You want somebody like, what is that? Hold on, I ain't seen that. That must be a 2000. Yeah, that must be a 2021. It's 2021's out already. I got 2019.
Oh man,
yeah, different things like that. I mean, people just like seeing things that they didn't know anything about. Certain features that you didn't know anything about. I mean, can you believe people didn't even think Kia had a leather? Like, You know what I'm saying? But if you put one out there, man, this thing fully look, man, all this only for this price, man, I might as well get this instead of some, you know, it's just that look. We want something with chrome rims sitting out front and all that stuff. And it's a nudge. There's a nudge there. You want to get that person to come in. You want to get that person to pull over. I used to do something like I would go to. They used to let me go to different places and sit out front with a car for like, just say like 20 minutes. It could be, yeah, it could be like, let's say for example, a mall.
Mm-hmm.
You sit out front of a mall. You walk through the mall and you'll see like a car in there. You're like, oh, what's that? You know,
right.
Certain places you'll sit outside. Certain events you can go to. We were at the let's see, in DC. It was just a parade, the gay parade in DC. We were out there and we had vehicles out there. So while everyone's, you know, partying and everything, they're looking like, hold on, what's that? You know, and you gotta think people are drinking there and they go, man, what's that, man? You know, it just looks good.
I might put that in my notes, man. That nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta go out. You gotta branch out and go to different places, different events, especially where people want to be social, you know, because they're more entitled to talk when a lot of partying, drinking and stuff like that, you know. I'm not saying pull up to the club and you know, but nice events that are going on, you know, people want to know what's that going on. So, you know, that mindset of having, they might not even end up getting that, but it's just to pull them into the dealership. You know, that's what we want to do, get someone in there. They might pull them in and look at that like, ooh, that price is high. I don't want that. What else I got though?
Right.
You know.
But that goes back to what we talked about. I know we talked about this, I think before this, was that, you know, you want to get, you know, what's the ratio? What's the statistics say? What do statistics say about, you know, how many sales you're going to get based on how many people?
We have a 50-50-50 percentage. So let's say, for example, I set up 20 appointments. 50 will show and 50 will buy. 50% will show, 50% will buy. Most of the time, 10 people will show up out of that 20, and out of that 10 people, 5 people will buy. It's just statistics. That's data. I mean, that it's the numbers. The numbers don't lie. And then you have those people that drive by and see, hey, what's going on? Those people from service are pissed. Like, look, my car, man, they're telling me it's gonna cost about $10,000 to get it fixed. I can't do it. You got those people that come in and walk in based off of total loss. You know, we are signed up with Geico, and we're signed up with Progressive. And if someone has a total loss, they contact us, send their information. So someone had a total loss, they need a new car.
So, oh man, so yeah, that's. But yeah, man, are you about to charge your battery about to die, man?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull that over and everything like that. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, we're still good.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely hear. You know, I really appreciate y'all tuning in, and again, you know, I want to thank my brother Marcus Rountree for definitely tuning in to this episode of Data is My Science, this podcast. I'll leave it as usual with some dope data that I ended off with. And I just want to say, just plain simple, everyone and every company uses data to make decisions and investments. You know, right here, we just heard that even when you're dealing with like selling cars, you're dealing with, as a car salesman, you're in the finance department. You know, he's been at all the different levels Marcus has, and he's still using data at each one of those levels, whether it's marketing, whether it's helping him make better decisions as to who to sell to, and then also when he brings a customer in, to help them make better decisions as to what car they actually want to buy. You know, so again, and everyone and every company uses data to make better decisions and better advancements. So I just want to say thank you again for listening to the Data is My Science podcast, the show that makes data your passion. And this is your host, Dapper Data. please follow me on Mr. Dapper Data on IG or Twitter or Facebook. So that's at Mr. Dapper Data on IG, Twitter, or Facebook. And Marcus, thank you for joining. And where can people reach you at, man? On Instagram, on Facebook, and tell them about your car, where the location is too.
Our location is 9020 Lanham Severn Road in Lanham, Maryland. 20706 is the zip code. Right across from the Ray Lobsters and McDonald's on 450. You can't miss it. But you can reach me on my phone number at the dealership. It's 301. The dealership phone number. Everybody.
Everybody.
Dealership number 301-459-1100. And I wasn't gonna.
I was like, no.
Also, my Instagram is at Rouncom. That's ROUNCOM. And then Facebook, you have Rountree, ROUNTREE, no D in Rountree. That's ROUNTREE, comedy. That's COMEDEE. That's COMEDEE. All right. But the phone number is 301-459-1100. That was funny. I was.
and the reason why is comedy at the end too, man. Y'all gotta check him out, man. This dude is hilarious, man. You know, he's also a comedian as well. So definitely check him out, man. But thanks a lot, man, for joining again. I appreciate it, man. Stay tuned for the next episode, y'all. The Data is My Science podcast, man. All right, man. Talk to you later. Love you.
Love you.
Thank you for listening to the Data is My Science podcast, the show that makes data your passion. With your host, Dapper Data.